Welcome to today's episode of Spelling Bee Ninja. I'm excited to guide you through some fascinating scientific myths today. Science is more than just facts and figures, it's about understanding the world around us. But sometimes, unfortunately, myths can cloud this understanding. In this episode, we'll dive into some common myths in science and uncover the truths behind them. Get ready to think critically and learn something new. Let's start with one of the most persistent myths out there, the idea that humans only use 10% of their brains. This myth has been around for decades and was often cited in self-help books and even movies. But here's the shocking truth: brain imaging studies have shown that we actually use almost all parts of our brain throughout the day. From planning our schedules to performing simple tasks, multiple brain regions work together. Even while you're sleeping, your brain is active in consolidating memories and dreaming. This myth probably began with the influential psychologist William James, who talked about untapped potential in humans. However, he never suggested that we only use 10% of our brains. So, the next time you hear someone mention this myth, you can confidently set the record straight. Now, moving on to our next myth, many believe that lightning never strikes the same place twice. This is particularly surprising because, in reality, lightning frequently strikes the same location multiple times. For instance, the Empire State Building is struck by lightning about 25 times a year due to its height. Tall structures, such as buildings and trees, are more likely to attract lightning. So why do people think otherwise? Often, it's an oversimplified belief that becomes part of our culture. However, science tells us that lightning is very unpredictable and does not follow such a rule. Talking about myths that have captured the public's imagination, let's discuss the idea that a penny dropped from a great height, like the Empire State Building, could kill someone below. Many people have shared this myth to illustrate the dangers of heights, but here's the science: a penny, due to its flat shape and low mass, won't gather enough speed to be lethal. Instead, it'd reach a terminal velocity of around 30 to 50 miles per hour, which would feel more like a small pebble hitting someone. It might sting, but it certainly won't be fatal. What about humans and monkeys? There's a widespread belief that we evolved directly from monkeys. This might sound convincing, given our similarities, but it's actually incorrect. Both humans and modern monkeys share a common ancestor from 6 to 8 million years ago. Over time, each lineage evolved separately. This can sometimes be confusing as people often think of evolution as a linear process, but it's more like a branching tree. So, remember, humans did not come directly from monkeys. Next up, we have another interesting myth: the idea that sugar makes kids hyperactive. This notion has been largely discredited by numerous scientific studies. In fact, double-blind studies, where neither the parents nor the children know whether they received sugar or a placebo, have shown no conclusive evidence that sugar leads to hyperactivity in kids. This myth persists, however, because many parents expect their children to be hyper after sugary snacks, creating a confirmation bias. Moreover, these sugary treats often come at exciting events like birthdays, which naturally boost energy levels. Speaking of senses, another myth suggests that humans have only 5 senses: sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. While these are indeed our primary senses, we actually have many more. Some lesser-known senses include equilibrioception, which helps us maintain balance, proprioception, which informs us about body position, and nociception, which relates to our perception of pain. So, how many senses do you think we truly have? The answer is more than 5. Now let's transition to what is perhaps one of the most charmingly incorrect beliefs about bats: that they are blind. While it's true that some bats use echolocation to navigate in the dark, they actually have functional eyes and can see quite well. In fact, many fruit bat species rely on their good vision. So the idea that bats are blind is simply another myth that highlights how fascinating these creatures are. Now, let's address a popular misconception regarding the Great Wall of China. Many claim it is the only man-made structure visible from space with the naked eye. However, this is not true. From low Earth orbit, like where the International Space Station orbits, the Great Wall is nearly impossible to see without aids like binoculars. Astronauts have reported that even then, it's quite challenging. Other structures, such as the pyramids or large airports, can be visible, but the Great Wall certainly doesn't stand out like we've been led to believe. Another misunderstood topic is taste. Some believe that different regions of the tongue correspond to different flavors such as sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami. The truth is that taste receptors for all these flavors are spread throughout the tongue. While some areas might be a bit more sensitive to certain tastes, it's a misconception that specific regions are designated for specific flavors. This idea originated from a misinterpretation of a German study from 1901, which has long been debunked. Lastly, we tackle the quirky urban legend that claims the average person swallows 8 spiders a year while sleeping. This myth has no scientific basis whatsoever. Spiders, in reality, typically avoid humans, and given that they don't crawl into sleeping people's mouths, this legend is just a fanciful story. In summary, exploring the realm between science and myth opens up a world of understanding and curiosity. We have revealed just a few of the myths that can distort our understanding of scientific facts. Remember, the best way to navigate through the sea of misinformation is to arm ourselves with credible information and a healthy dose of skepticism. Also, keep diving into educational resources. Platforms like Snopes, Live Science, Britannica, and CBC Kids help in debunking these myths and provide trustworthy insights about the sciences. So let's stay curious and keep questioning the world around us. We hope today's journey through the realm of scientific myths has sparked your interest and encouraged you to think critically about the information you encounter. To wrap up today's episode, we explored some popular scientific myths and the truths behind them. We learned that we use our entire brain, that lightning can and does strike the same place multiple times, and that a penny dropped from a great height is not lethal. We also discovered that humans share a common ancestor with monkeys, that there is no link between sugar intake and hyperactivity in children, and that we possess more than just 5 senses. Furthermore, we debunked the myth that bats are blind, clarified that the Great Wall of China isn't visible from space, revealed the reality of taste receptors, and dismissed the urban legend regarding swallowing spiders in our sleep. Remember, being curious and questioning information is essential in our journey of learning and discovery. Thank you for joining us in this enlightening episode of Spelling Bee Ninja. As you continue to explore the fascinating world of science, always remember to challenge myths with facts and seek out reliable sources. Until next time, stay curious and keep learning those important lessons about the world we live in.